Hello, welcome to the first episode of HōL, the Holistic Beauty, Style, and Living Network. I'm Lynn Bethel-Lawson, and I'm honored to be going on this holistic journey with you. Today's episode is the first in an ongoing series called Food Love. We're with Carolyn Akens, a board-certified holistic health coach, natural food chef, and raw food educator. Carolyn is a wealth of knowledge and has an amazing story of her own, which she'll share with you in a moment. But you can also find out more about Carolyn at carolynakens.com. It's CarolynAkens.com. This episode is the first in a series with Carolyn Akens, and today we're making kale salad, which is so good. So welcome, Carolyn.
Thank you, Lynn, for having me.
You're welcome. So what are we doing here?
We're going to make Mediterranean kale salad, and we're using dinosaur kale, but the technical name for it is Lacinato. Okay. And if you notice it, it does have ridges the way a dinosaur would have had ridges on its body. I prefer this kale as opposed to curly kale because there is a difference in the taste, and the curly kale is a little bit tougher than the dinosaur kale.
So where can you find the dinosaur kale?
You can buy it, if you're in the Atlanta area, you can get it at Whole Foods, or you can go to the Cab Farmers Market.
Okay, and if you're, so Whole Foods anywhere would be carrying
Any
it?
Whole Foods would carry it, yeah.
Okay, all right, awesome. So what are we doing with it?
Okay, I'm going to show you how to destem it. As opposed to, a lot of people might just take it and do it like that. That can be time consuming. And you just want to take it, pull it like that, put your fingers down the middle.
Oh, okay. So you're just sliding it down.
Just sliding it down.
So Carolyn, how did you become, what is a raw foodist first, I guess?
A raw foodist is someone that eats vegetables, nuts, seeds. They don't cook their food at all.
Okay.
If we're going to eat something to take on that cooked effect, we marinate it, which is what we're going to do with this kale salad.
Okay.
And once I finish with this kale salad, you would have thought I actually put it on the stove and cooked it because of the textural differences it's going to create, but I will not.
Okay, sounds really good. And so how did you get into raw food?
I got into raw food, Lynn, because I ended up weighing 185 pounds. And for someone like me who's only 5'3" and 3/4 inches tall, that catapulted me into the obese category.
Okay.
And so, I had a brother who was morbidly obese, and he died due to complications of morbid obesity. So I knew at that time I had to do something. I had to make a difference because there was obesity on both sides of my family. And so that's when I wanted to learn as much as I could. And I found out about raw foods, and then that one class just really intrigued me. And so I flew to Chicago, trained to become a raw food chef as well as an instructor.
Okay.
And haven't looked back.
Wow, awesome. Okay, so what did you just do while we were talking? You rolled up?
I rolled the kale up. Kind of looks like a cigar.
Or like a sushi roll, kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we're going to do a chiffonade.
What's a chiffonade?
A chiffonade is little ribbons.
Oh.
That's what a chiffonade.
Okay.
Because you roll this up, and so when you start cutting it into tiny strips, the end result is a chiffonade.
Okay.
And we're going to take this and marinate it in some other ingredients, and then we're going to marinate it with our hands. And you'll see the end result. I've already cut some up, and I'll show you what that looks like.
Okay.
So here's our bowl.
Okay.
And we just add this to it.
So how long does it take to do this recipe for the person who's like short on time and want to get in and out of the kitchen pretty quickly?
About 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good.
About 10 minutes. It's not time consuming at all.
All right.
Okay, so now what we need is 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil.
Okay. I love this. This is really cute.
Thank you. And I really like unfiltered olive oil. Sometimes you can find it and sometimes you can't.
What's the difference between filtered and unfiltered?
The unfiltered has segments in the bottom, kind of remind you like the mother when you're drinking something fermented and you see that cloud in the bottom, that means it's unfiltered.
Okay.
And I just like that, but if not, you can always use extra virgin olive oil and just make sure it's cold pressed.
All right, cold pressed olive oil.
Yes. And now we need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice right here.
Okay. So what's the lemon juice? What's the
lemon juice
What's
is
it
is the acid, and it helps to break it down.
Oh, okay.
And even though this is lemon juice is used as an acid in this, say when you are having water first thing in the morning, which everyone should have, the water should be tepid, and you can put a teaspoonful of water in there and you drink it, because then it goes into an alkaline state.
Okay.
Because your body has been fasting all night, and that's what breakfast means, to break the fast. And you can start out by that. It starts your body to be really healthy on the inside.
Okay. Sounds good.
And now we need some sea salt.
Okay.
And Lynn, this is Himalayan pink sea salt.
I have some of that. So what makes it different from other sea salts? I mean, what's so good about it?
It's hand harvested.
Okay.
Whereas most traditional salt, like the one in the blue box, that has been bleached.
Oh,
and it has no nutrient value whatsoever. Whereas this is pink, and there's Celtic sea salt, which has a gray hue to it.
Yep, I've seen that.
It's really good too. There's a black one, there's a red one, but I just prefer using this one because it has all the minerals that our body needs.
Okay. And people usually say that salt is not good for you, so that's not true?
That's not true.
Okay.
The kind that's bleached,
It's
it's
not
not good.
Right. Gotcha.
And we need 3/4 of a teaspoon. And we need pine nuts.
Okay. So these are pine nuts. Where do they come from? They don't look like the regular nuts that we're all familiar with.
These are pine nuts, and they grow. Most nuts are kind of underground, kind of like in the legume family, and these are no different. But they are very have a lot of oil in it, and usually during the summertime, especially if you live in a climate like we here in Atlanta, you cannot leave your nuts out because they'll go rancid very quickly.
Okay.
So they need to be in the freezer at all times.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't been doing that, so
Yes.
I'll make sure I do that.
Yes. And we need some raisins.
Okay. So raisins for a little bit of sweetness to
For a
it.
little bit of sweetness to it. And this is 1/4 of a cup of raisins, and they have been soaked for like 10 minutes just to plump them back up.
Oh. So are you supposed to soak raisins normally, or that's just?
You don't have to. It depends on what recipe you're using. Sometimes you might need to soak them and sometimes not. But I will tell you, you want to make sure they're always organic.
Oh, okay. That's something new too.
And we need 1/4 of a teaspoon of freshly ground pepper.
Okay. And so why is it in the little cupcake holder?
Okay, this protects it because you're always going to have residue. When you grind freshly ground pepper, you're going to have some residue. And as opposed to it getting on your counter, it will fall into there.
Okay. Very good to know.
And freshly ground pepper is really good because you have no idea how long black pepper has been sitting on the shelf. So you want to always grind it fresh yourself.
Awesome.
And now we have all these ingredients, and all we're going to do now is marinate it. And all you do is just really, you're squeezing them lovingly.
Okay.
You always want to put love in your food.
And so it's better to use your hands versus using a spoon? Or...
Yes,
Okay.
use your hands.
And
These
you're
are the
breaking?
best utensils that you could have.
Okay.
And we need to use more of them.
Okay.
Because if you're using a spoon, you're just mixing the ingredients together, but you're not breaking down the leaves. And kale leaves can have a tendency to be a little tough, and especially the curly kale. So if you don't break it down, while it still is edible, it makes it difficult to chew, and you're constantly chewing and chewing and chewing.
Okay, so you're kind of breaking it as you're going through.
Correct.
All right. It smells really good already.
going to be absolutely delicious.
Looks it.
There we have it.
So that was a very quick recipe. That was, yeah, like 10 minutes? Yeah.
If it was 10 minutes.
Yeah, if that long, right?
It doesn't take that long.
Okay. So this is great for, it's like, what can you combine this with at the dinner table?
You can have some, if you have carnivores, you can make some
Meat eaters.
baked chicken, and I would suggest it's organic chicken because you want to know where that chicken came from, how it was processed.
Right.
Or you can have some wild fish. And the
okay.
difference between wild fish and farm-raised fish, the farm-raised fish kind of reminds you of sardines in a can because they're on top of each other. They don't do anything. Whereas wild fish is constantly swimming.
Okay.
So it's constantly moving. So that would be the fish.
Okay.
Nothing farm-raised.
So this is, yeah, a very quick and simple recipe.
And it's delicious. It is absolutely
It looks
delicious.
absolutely, it does. It looks really good. I'm like gonna try this at home because it's something simple. I'm not the biggest chef in the world, and so like, yeah, this is something simple I can do. Oh my gosh, this is so good. There's a little bit of sweet, a little bit of tart, salt and pepper, and the pine nuts and the
Pine nuts give you the crunch.
yeah, and then the olive oil, smooth. This is so good. You have to try this at home. The recipe is posted on the website and below the video. You can find more about Carolyn Akens and her awesome, awesome recipes and all the work that she does at carolynakens.com, CarolynAkens.com. Guys, you have to try this recipe. We'll have some more posted soon too. And thanks, Carolyn. This is awesome. You're welcome.